Cinderella's life had settled into a pleasant rhythm after her marriage to Prince Charming. Days were filled with royal duties and tending to the flourishing gardens around the castle. But on one tranquil morning, her life took an unexpected turn. While exploring the rose maze, she stumbled upon a curious sight, a sleek orange cat lounging on a marble bench, its emerald eyes shimmering with an almost human intelligence. "Who do you belong to?" Cinderella asked, her voice soft yet curious. The cat tilted its head, its ears twitching as though it understood her perfectly. Then, to her astonishment, it spoke. "Greetings, Princess. I am Soul, a messenger from a realm beyond your wildest dreams." "I've come to seek your aid," the cat said, its voice deep and calm, echoing with a faint magical hum. Cinderella blinked, certain she was imagining things. A talking cat? Surely, this must be a jest. Soul jumped down gracefully and approached her. Not a jest, but a call to destiny. A magical kingdom known as Lamaria is in grave peril. Only you can help restore its light. Before Cinderella could respond, a golden portal materialized behind the cat, swirling with dazzling patterns. Soul stepped into it, turning back to her with an expectant glance. "Will you join me, Princess? Your heart carries the strength we need." Despite her reservations, an undeniable pull urged Cinderella forward. She stepped into the glowing portal, her world spinning into light and color. When Cinderella's feet touched solid ground again, she gasped at the breathtaking sight before her. Lamaria was unlike anything she had ever seen. The sky was a kaleidoscope of colors, shifting from fiery orange to serene lavender. Floating islands dotted the horizon, each connected by shimmering bridges of light. Rivers of golden liquid flowed like veins through the lush, magical landscape. "Welcome to Lamaria," Soul announced, his tone tinged with both pride and urgency. "This realm is sustained by the crystal of eternity, but it has been stolen by the Shadow King. Without its power, Lamaria will wither and fall into eternal darkness." Cinderella's heart ached as she saw a distant island shrouded in black clouds, its once vibrant trees reduced to skeletal remains. "What can I do to help?" she asked, determination blooming within her. Soul began walking, his tail swaying. "The Shadow King hides the crystal in his fortress at the edge of the realm. To retrieve it, we must cross 3 magical trials. Each will test your courage, wisdom, and heart." Cinderella nodded, her resolve hardening. "Then let's begin." Their first destination was the Labyrinth of Echoes, a sprawling maze that shimmered and shifted with each step they took. The entrance to the Labyrinth of Echoes was both beautiful and foreboding. Towering hedges made of crystalline vines glimmered in the sunlight, their surfaces reflecting fragments of reality like a kaleidoscope. "This maze is alive," Soul warned. "It reflects the fears and desires of those who enter. Stay focused, or you may lose yourself within its illusions." Cinderella took a deep breath and stepped forward, her footsteps echoing against the labyrinth's shimmering floor. Almost immediately, the air grew heavy, and whispers filled the space around her. The hedges seemed to close in, showing fragments of her past, the cruel taunts of her stepmother, the loneliness of her youth. Cinderella, a voice called, eerily familiar. She turned to see the figure of her late mother, her arms outstretched. "Come, my child. Rest with me." Her heart ached, but Soul's voice broke through. "It's an illusion. Keep moving." Clenching her fists, Cinderella pressed forward, her surroundings shifting with every step. The whispers grew louder, tugging at her resolve. But then, she remembered Soul's words, courage, wisdom, and heart. She closed her eyes and focused on the truth within her, the strength she had built over the years. The maze began to unravel, its illusions fading into nothingness. Before long, Cinderella emerged into a clearing at the maze's center, where a glowing key floated in midair. She reached for it, and the labyrinth dissolved, revealing Soul waiting at the exit. "You've passed the first trial," he said with a proud flick of his tail. "The next awaits, the bridge of tempests." Cinderella and Soul found themselves at the entrance of a magnificent yet intimidating labyrinth. The walls were made of shifting crystal, reflecting light in a dazzling array of colors. As they entered, the path behind them sealed shut, leaving no way back. "Stay close," Soul whispered, his tail flicking nervously. "This maze is alive and doesn't take kindly to intruders." Cinderella nodded, clutching the golden key tightly. Each turn of the labyrinth presented new challenges, riddles carved into the walls, moving platforms over bottomless chasms, and shadowy figures that whispered warnings. At one juncture, they encountered a riddle inscribed on a crystal pedestal. "To proceed, you must offer what is priceless but weightless." "What am I?" Cinderella closed her eyes, thinking deeply. "Time," she whispered. Instantly, the labyrinth walls shifted, revealing a shimmering passage ahead. They navigated through with growing confidence, Soul's agility and Cinderella's wit complementing each other perfectly. Along the way, they discovered fragments of a map etched into the walls, hinting at the labyrinth's secrets. When they finally reached the heart of the maze, they found an ancient fountain, glowing with silvery light. At its center was a pedestal holding a piece of the celestial key. "You've earned this," the fountain murmured, its voice like a song. As Cinderella reached for the key fragment, the labyrinth began to tremble. "We must move," Soul yelped. Together, they sprinted back through the maze as the walls collapsed behind them. Breathing heavily, they emerged into the sunlight, victorious. The key fragment glowed in unison with Cinderella's original piece, hinting that they were one step closer to unlocking Lumaria's greatest treasure. The next leg of their journey led them to the Sky Bridge, a legendary structure connecting the floating islands of Lamaria. The bridge shimmered like glass but seemed to ripple like water beneath their feet. "Be careful," Soul warned. "Only those with pure hearts can cross safely." As they began their ascent, the bridge responded to Cinderella's determination, glowing brighter with each step. However, dark clouds gathered on the horizon, and a fierce wind began to howl. From the storm emerged the shadow harbinger, a menacing figure draped in swirling darkness. "You dare seek the celestial key," it bellowed, its voice echoing like thunder. "Prove your worth or be cast into the abyss." Cinderella gripped the key tightly and stood her ground. "I seek it not for power, but to restore Lumaria's light," she declared. Sol hissed, positioning himself to defend her. The harbinger summoned shadowy minions that lunged toward them. Cinderella and Sol fought valiantly, their bond growing stronger as they worked in perfect harmony. Sol leaped and clawed at the shadows while Cinderella's key emitted bursts of golden light, dispelling the dark creatures. Finally, the harbinger launched a final attack, but Cinderella's courage burned brighter than ever. With a cry, she held the key aloft, unleashing a radiant wave of light that banished the darkness. The harbinger shrieked and dissolved into mist, leaving the path ahead clear. As the storm subsided, the sky bridge illuminated a path to the final floating island, where the true secret of Lamaria awaited. The final island was a sight to behold, a lush paradise filled with glowing trees, sparkling rivers, and a sky that seemed alive with dancing lights. At the center stood the celestial sanctuary, an ethereal temple radiating power. Cinderella and Sol approached cautiously. Inside the sanctuary, they found a grand chamber where the final piece of the celestial key floated within a sphere of golden light. "At last," Sol murmured, his emerald eyes wide with awe. But as Cinderella reached for the key, the sanctuary began to quake. From the shadows emerged an enormous guardian, a dragon with scales that shimmered like starlight. "Only the purest intentions may claim the key," the dragon rumbled. "Prove your heart is true." Cinderella stepped forward, speaking from her soul. She told the dragon of her journey, her desire to restore Lumaria's light, and her belief in the power of kindness and courage. Her words resonated deeply within the chamber, and the dragon bowed its head. "You have proven yourself," it said. The golden sphere vanished, leaving the final key piece in Cinderella's hands. As the key completed itself, a radiant light filled the sanctuary, spreading across Lamaria and banishing the lingering darkness. The dragon transformed into a wise old woman who revealed herself to be Lumaria's original guardian. "You have restored the balance," she said. "Lamaria owes you its gratitude." As Cinderella and Sol stood in the glowing sanctuary, they felt a profound sense of accomplishment. Lamaria was alive with color and light, its magic restored. But more importantly, Cinderella and Sol's bond had become unbreakable. As they returned home, Lumaria's stars followed them, a reminder of their extraordinary journey and the magic they carried within their hearts.